May 2022. Do 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 do. Here's a song I wrote, arranged and performed by Sean Hills. I call it Heading Down to Somewhere.
I'm headed down to somewhere, got my pickaxe in my hand. Yes, I'm headed down to somewhere, got my pickaxe in my hand. I'm headed down to somewhere, God knows where I am. Who's the guy who conquers death? The mister with the whispers when Mumbo forgets. After introducing Pearl and Gem to say we're settling a continent. Shoulder to shoulder, surrounded by water, beyond which reset, risk your face if you wanna. We live close, we build close, we speak in proximity. Season 8's here today, still in its infancy. Mumbo is saying go, everyone's cheering, suddenly scattering, always unfearing. Though it passed by without Mumbo mentioning, there's a crew, you know who to keep you adventuring. Asuma securing villagers, Pearl on fine architecture, Joe grabbing supplies, ready to throw at the first fools who die. Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. The very first to die, B-double-O don't cry. Pops and quite chagrin, takes some apples and he flies. Zombie Cleo's next, needs an axe for the road. Geared up and cheered up, she's off with some lows. Gemini Tay appears slain by Jevin, but B-dubs is back before Joe loads the first chest in. Then Pearl's killed by Cleo, who Joe had armed previously. Then Cleo's dead too per Isco mischievously. Impulse SV got blown up by a creeper, says he won't be back, but how can he be sure? Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. The resupply crew. Asuma laddering a mine shaft. The resupply crew. Pearl egging a shell. The resupply crew. Joe lavaing a portal. Yo, you're immortal, here's a doorway to hell. Who's the guy? Who's the guy? Who's the guy who struck his first die encircled suddenly by three of his friends? Tango, Corrales, and B-double-O, all armed and armored to shake down Joe. Threats bacon triplicate fully surrounded. Joe took to the sky with cobble unbounded. Lava to dump on the brigands below, or on himself. This direction, let's go! Heading down to somewhere with coordinates in hand. Bridging and a tunneling connecting flower forest land. Cleo is away, so Joe leaves her a saddle. He hopes as he does she won't use it for battle. Returning to World Spawn and lighting his tunnel, he keeps striking lava and dies a whole bundle. And droughts hunting squids, though he tried his best. But no worries, back at World Spawn there's a resupply chest. Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. One chest becomes four, labeled in stock. The shell thickens yet with smooth sandstone block. Bushes are placed, ravines are filled in. Also the hermits can keep adventuring. If dying is losing, then living is winning. Episode's done, but the show's just beginning. Pick up some tools, some potatoes and steak, and show 'em you're real, give 'em season 8.
The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and just let your mind flow downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And tonight, y'all are my live streaming audience. Hope everyone is doing well today. We've got a few experimental things going on this stream. I don't know if anybody here has any guesses about what that might be. But you can look around. Maybe you see something a little different. Unfortunately, the experimental thing adds a little bit of judder right here. But we are playing with a mod that extends the view distance to 32 chunks. If I preloaded the chunks, it'll render out to 32. Yeah, Cheesiest says I see the judder. Yep. So, in theory, when I'm standing still, it looks really good, but when I'm flying, it doesn't look as good. So, in theory, we can fix that by turning the view distance back down to 16. Still seems to be a little bit of judder. It's going to look really good in replay mod. The problem is, if I don't have it installed... If I don't have it active when I'm recording, I don't know if replay mod will work with it. So I do have to kind of... But yeah, so this is at view distance 16. This is how far we can see. This is the actual normal limit of the game. And if we turn it back up to 32... Ooh. Now, because the server's not actively sending me data about those chunks, those are cached locally on my machine. Basically, every time I fly over them, it updates the local cache. Does that make sense? Yeah, the machine is huge. Doc was talking about using this mod on his, what do you call it? On his perimeter. In fact, I do have... Somebody says you could do a test clip for replay mod. Fun fact, I've got one of those handy. Let me pull up that test clip from a different folder, the one that would actually have it. Replay videos. So let me see if this will play. So this is a test clip using that same mod inside the perimeter. So I was doing, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in the perimeter that's been smoothed out. I was helping Doc with that earlier today. He's got some spoilery stuff along the upper edge of the perimeter now, so I can't show that or fly over there in person. But you can see how being able to see 32 chunks inside the perimeter really gives you a better sense of scale, right? So we're going to turn that replay mod file off there. Okay. So here's what I want to do today. I want to get started experimenting a little bit with the flying machines. And in order to do that, I think we're going to have to remove some of this sand. Now, that might not be a good idea. I'm not 100% sure yet. But I think we're going to do that from the middle. And we're going to try and do like a small flying machine down the center. Or we can cut off one of the corners and try doing a narrow flying machine down one of the edges. Maybe that's going to be smarter. Yeah. Given the choice between one of the two edges, I'm thinking we should do the one without the Guardian farm. Yeah, the flying machine would get rid of water sources, is the idea. Yeah, the frame rate really doesn't go well when you fly with this mod. Loading all the extra chunks is definitely something. But, like, the view when you're standing around talking for a recording is spectacular. Okay, so I think that we're going to start recording here. Okay. And start recording. Okay. HermitCraft, Season 9, Episode 14? take 1. And action. Okay. I am back from helping Doc M77 smooth out a bunch of the bottom of his perimeter, which has netted me a ton of slimes. Enough slimes that I feel like we can really get going working on some rough prototypes of some flying machines. Now, I've been going back and looking at first principles on water sweepers and things like that. It looks like these were first come up with by somebody back in 2014 named Ground 15. He was cited by Milky Way from the Zip crowd in his earliest, like, Moses Modular Ocean something. Okay, modular ocean splitter deploying slime blocks? Employing slime blocks. I'm still putting the hot and hot bar. That's fine. This was a practice take. Take 2. Take 2. Okay. Oh, that reminds me. I don't have the... Okay. Didn't have all of my windows where they needed to be anyway. So let's get that moved up and over here. Okay. I think we're ready. Okay. Take 2 and action. Let's go ahead and move the let's move the slime blocks to the hotbar here. Oops. I have returned from helping Doc M77 start smoothing out the bottom of that perimeter, and in the process, I killed so many slimes. In fact, I have enough slime blocks now that I think what I want to do is start prototyping some flying machines that will sweep out the water inside of here. Now, I've never built a flying machine before in Minecraft, so I wanted to go back to first principles and kind of review things. I looked at the Minecraft wiki, and they didn't really seem to give anybody any credit for, like, inventing anything. As far as I can tell, according to a guy named Milky Way, back in 2014, he built this original sweeper called Modular Ocean Splitter employing slime blocks, the Moses. And he credited somebody named Ground 15, who I don't know who that is, but thank you, Ground 15, for laying the Ground 15 work for what we're about to do here today. In order to actually make sure that this flying machine doesn't get, like, stuck on these walls, though, I think that what I need to do is just roll in here with a shovel and start clearing out this inner edge of the ocean. Now, you might say, Joe, why not just drop down here and use a torch, right? You got torches. You know how they work. You just put it in there. Boom. You're rendiggity done. Well, yeah, on that corner. The second I come over here, though, womp, womp, womp. Oh, and now I have 2 problems. Fantastic. Everyone loves having 2 problems. So, what we can do instead on these is just kind of stand here and hit the gravity blocks with the shovel instead of using the torch. Now, this is not as fast, but we will get a ton of sand back, and hopefully we can clear enough of this. I'm not going to clear this entire inner shell here right now. I'm going to clear a few blocks this way and a bunch of blocks that way. So we just kind of have a corner that we can do our prototyping in. Okay, so we're going to do it. Somebody says use a slab instead of a torch. Okay. Let's go get some slabs. Let's go get some slabs. Let's go get some slabs. Oh, wait, no, this is the future. We can use slabs for this now. Look at me. I'm like a modern sand-removing fella. Boom. Just gonna keep rolling down this way. Add in slabs and taking names. Not really taking names. We are getting a lot of sand back, though. Probably should take some ender chests out and start filling them up with sand. Anyway, look, I got even more slime than I thought. Anyway, I'm going to work on this infrastructure piece, and I will catch y'all in a bit so we can start building some flying ships. Time skip. Okay. So we're going to put these away. And we're going to get the sandbox out, too, for the similar reasons. I like that these just fly out toward me. Okay. I'm going to use this for a quick little time lapse from the first person, maybe. Here, so just give me a second before I turn the camera back on. This is actually turning out kind of messy, but... I think I'm actually faster digging with the scuba helmet. It's kind of funny. Wasn't expecting that. As long as I'm walking on the bottom there. Yes, you are indeed here for the time skip. That is correct. What about the kelp? The sweeper will clear out the kelp. Okay. So we're not worried about that. Let's go up and use the bed. Having this mod loaded will also make the replays look a lot better. I'm so excited about that. Oh, one thing I should mention as I stop the recording and turn the face camera back on is that I'm down here in slot 9. If you haven't noticed the webcam, howdy. I'm down here putting the hot in the hot bar. But we do expand the camera at $20 tipping milestones, and tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Let's go ahead and actually grab some more slabs real quick, because this is very silly to not have way more. Then, the name of the mod, so Doc M just sent me a jar. I don't know if it's publicly available. Let me see if it is. Yes, it is called the Bobby Minecraft mod. That's what I googled, is Bobby Minecraft mod. It records and stores all chunks sent by the server, so in .minecraft/.bobby. And then it can load and display those chunks at a later point when those chunks are outside the server's view distance. It automatically reloads its config when it's changed for an in-game config. So there is a config menu, that mod that you can do. I don't actually know how to configure this mod. I just installed it with the basic things. Hey, Sammy, this is going surprisingly well so far. DocM77 recommended all the hermits install a mod that'll make his perimeter look better. And it makes flying with rockets unwieldy, but it makes seeing things that are far away look really good. And because my pinball machine is so big, and I don't really fly with rockets very often, other than to demonstrate to people how this mod breaks them. Welcome, Mbapple. We are currently working on building some slime and redstone piston flying machines. We're not using bluestone pistons for this. Dang it. Will kelp make a lot of lag? Maybe. I mean, I'm not an expert. It's late at night. grab some of these sand blocks before they start lagging out the server, though, for real. Tridents are more fun. Hey, Daniel, much love to Brazil. Okay, let's get these, let's maybe get the slime blocks also out of our inventory just to free up some slots. And let's remove this extra slime from there. Just to consolidate these more properly. Put the pistons and levers back in the redstone box. Sand goes in the sand box and the sand overflow box. Okay. Dang it. Oops. So some sand is floating to the top up here, but not, you know, a lot. Or maybe a lot of it already despawned. We did get, hey, somebody just signed up on Patreon. Welcome. Just so you know, I send out those Discord invites manually the next business day. So keep an eye out for that. But that won't happen during the stream because I'm streaming at the moment. As you may have seen on my Minecraft status, streaming. But thank you for supporting the show. For those of you who are not aware, $5 a month will get you in the Patreon community Discord to chat and hang out, participate in random game night type stuff. Like tomorrow, Tommy Boy is going to be running a Gartic phone game since I have the night off streaming for a family thing. $10 a month gets you access to the Minecraft servers. We've got the flagship vanilla SMP that I'm the creative lead on. We've got a few others like the Everstorm server. New Everstorm server starts tomorrow. The Everstorm experience for next month was designed by Yurgi, our new server operator. I've been kind of cautious about promoting the Patreon too much because I wanted to make sure that we had the staff in place to scale properly before I really started hyping this. So even though, like, I'm really, really happy with the Patreon and really proud of the community, I kind of felt like it's kind of rude to the people who are already there if I'm too hype about it in public until I, like, hire up more. But in the last week or so, I've promoted Yurgi from moderator to Minecraft server operator, and I've hired Queen Dark Lady to be our newest moderator. And we're going to be adding one more moderator at the beginning of June. I just have to lock down a few details there. So we are going to be fully staffed very soon. So I am very excited about that. So I can now shamelessly promote the Discord and the Minecraft server via patreon.com/JoeHills. Yep, the new Everstorm starts tomorrow. Yurgi came up with the concept. Yurgi is going to be the creative lead on our upcoming... right now, we've got a vanilla SMP server that started around the time HermitCraft 9 did. And we're going to launch another one when 1.19.2 breaks. So there will be opportunities for people to jump in who want to be part of a new server when 1.19 launches. We're not going to reset our other one so soon, but there will be new experiences. Oh yeah, the Everstorm server is a hardcore server concept I came up with, where it's always a thunderstorm, and the server resets every 3 to 4 weeks, and has slightly different game rules, or world gen or something every time. The problem is if I put the shovel in my main hand and the slabs in my offhand, I'm not as confident with the timing. I do better breaking the blocks with the slabs and placing them, because I've just got the timing down. The diamond shovel is a little bit too fast for this, and then I end up missing it. And so I end up having to break 3 or 4 blocks before I place it properly. Hey, let's see, we got our first tip rolling in via PayPal from Catherine for 25, who says, most efficient sand farm I've ever seen. Thank you. That puts us $5 past our first face camera expansion. Please direct your attention down here to slot 9 so I can say, howdy, y'all. Grow Hills here, expanding as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee, dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee-dee. Alrighty. So, you know, there's a saying in the wine industry that Maynard Keenan was talking about in the documentary about his vineyard, Caduceus Vineyards, called Blood into Wine. He says, the best way to make $1 million off a vineyard is to spend $8 million. So, yeah, this is the most efficient sand farm in that all of this sand is highly concentrated due to me having already farmed it and put it here. Oh, boy. So, yeah. Yeah, the best way to make a highly efficient sand farm, or the best way to farm 25 double chests of sand is to place 40 double chests of sand. Dang it. Welcome, Evan Hernandez. Glad you could join us. Jojo Walrus, glad you enjoyed the Swedish Rickroll. That was a fun thing. Corrales is always so fun. And Iskal was very pleased. That was a very fun day. Hey, welcome, Mr. Hardluck. Welcome, Queen of the Nerds. Yep, we are clearing out a space to test a flying machine here. First, we need to go return some of the sand, though. Whoa, return to Sander. Welcome, Cupcake. Oh yeah, I forgot we've got this thing. Yeah, I'm also thinking maybe if we gotta go use a bed anyway, yeah, let's go and place some of our Rickroll stemmed from duck roll, not egg roll. Let's go ahead and put these potions in here for now. We're not going to need fire resistance. Where we're going, we don't need no fire resistance. These are not homegrown shulkers, unfortunately. Okay, I kind of want to also go play with the map when we're done with this. But yeah, this long distance viewing mod, it makes flight a little bit more juddery. But for when I'm recording on the ground, it just, everything looks so much better because of the 32 block view distance. It's just a huge deal breaker. Somebody asked about my feelings about the Nashville NHL team, the Nashville Predators. Losing recently. I enjoy going to their games and watching, but hockey's not something I've ever enjoyed on television. I love the in-person experience, but it's not the sort of thing I enjoy on TV, and so I actually didn't realize that we had lost. I don't really follow the team outside of like the games I go to. My friends that were really into going to the games, a lot of them moved out of town too, so I used to go a lot more often. Hey, Mirko! Glad you enjoyed the mirror joke. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the sort of thing that I like doing. If you like watching hockey, one thing I recommend is just follow your college team. Because you can get seats right up on the glass at a college hockey game. And even though they're playing at the, quote-unquote amateur level, the fact that you're sitting on the other side of the glass makes the game so much more immediate, and the tickets are free practically, if not actually. In a lot of cases, hockey tickets for college games are free. So you can just go to the game, at least here in Tennessee, because the hockey teams aren't official college teams. They're college they're college club teams, right? It's like a club league. So you can just go to the games, sit right on the glass, and even though the level of play is amateur level technically rather than professional level, you're so close to the action. It's so much more immediate. It's really, really exciting. Server needs to restart once a night to do some maintenance tasks. Okay. Oh, good. Creepy noises. Thanks, creepy noises. How kind of you to creep me out. Okay. So we're not building the entire sweeper right now. We're building a prototype testing area. Okay. HermitCraft doesn't really have any moderators. We just do everything ourselves. Like, we have a few server operators and technical people that are on Asuma's tech staff. But we don't really have moderators. We just kind of run the server ourselves in terms of, like, social order and dispute management. Howdy, Pearl. I don't think you can put Optifine on a server. I'm not an expert on that, though. We are making a ton of progress here. It's not going to go as fast once we get to the part with the Guardians. I'll tell you that. Stephanie Hall says, do any hermits log on and ask if they can help besides HHH? Yeah, all the time. Like I said, Scar and I were over at Doc 77's perimeter project today, smoothing out some blocks. Cub popped by here the other day to help out. Welcome, Potato Sizer. Glad you could join us. For those of you who don't know, I'm actually watching 3 chats right now. We got the Discord community chat, we got the Twitch chat, we got the YouTube chat. So if you're like, who's Joe talking to? I don't see him. That's expected behavior. Okay, so we need to go and do some boxes. Yeah, this long distance viewing mod is definitely making certain types of flight less reliable. But I mean, most of the time when I'm recording, I'm not actively flying. Okay. The problem is, it makes seeing things far away so much cooler. Like, I could see stuff from so far away. I'm gonna need some of those slime balls for making sticky pistons, though, Packy. So I've compressed a lot of slimes already, but I'm not gonna compress all of them because I'm gonna need so many sticky pistons. There's a lot of different flying machine designs, and some of them are more efficient with materials, and some of them are more ludicrous in other ways. Using a wildly inefficient but hilarious looking one is kind of appealing to me. Welcome, Tracy89. Glad you could join us. You can uncompress slime, though, says Grace Winter. Can you? Dubious rising intonation? Can you decompress slime blocks? That sounds like a bedrock only thing that, like, I would get bitten by if I was like, okay, fine, let's just do that real quick, and then everybody's like, no. Okay, so I can try it first. Well, I that's all the way back there, though. I don't wanna. Okay, all those slabs are going over here. How does a sweeper work? We'll get to that. Yurgi says, you can uncompress them in Java, yes. You are, of course, not obligated to if you don't wish to. Yeah, I'm not sure that I wish to. Like, I've only got 3 wishes. I don't know if I want to waste one of them on uncompressing slime blocks. This slab farm is looking great. I know it's producing so many slabs. Thank you, MJ. Somebody says honey blocks are irreversible, though. Okay, see, so it's not crazy. Yeah, Room 219 says learning about the Bobby mod is so cool. I had a mega build idea I couldn't do to render distance. Honestly, like I said, it does add a lot of stutter when you're flying. So I'm gonna have to use it judiciously and think about how I'm gonna, like, if I'm doing shots where I need to fly a lot for the camera reason, if I need to fly on camera with this mod, I might need to straight up uninstall the mod when I do those, or deactivate the mod, because it looked like turning the render distance down didn't completely eliminate the judder. Shizia says you can unmake honey blocks if you have bottles in your inventory. Wait, really? See, I don't know this stuff, y'all. Hello, fish. Hope you're doing good. Okay, so now we're up to almost 2 stacks of those. Let's go all the way. Mining does sound nice. It's very relaxing. They do have a sound designer that works at Mojang. I'm pretty sure. Chloe, the great and powerful, tip 7. Thank you so much, Chloe. Chloe writes, just got off work. Why so small, Joe? Let's fix that. Well, thank you so much, Chloe. That puts us now 7 away from our next face camera expansion. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Before I post that link, let me find a bed real quick. Oh, somebody already did. Thanks, player. I was gonna say, let me still put this excess sand away. Also, welcome, Rex. But, yeah, I was going to say... let's go ahead and copy that tipping link. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. This is coming along. I'm actually going to move these to the other corner, I think. Oh, actually, I'm going to put 3 of them away. What? Come on. Away. And we'll hold on to this one. And we'll grab these. And we'll keep going. This is fun. Jar the First says, why do you run back every 10 blocks to pick up the items? They're not going to despawn for minutes, man. I agree with you, but leaving a bunch of blocks around on the ground is bad for the server. And you know, there's other people playing. Like Scar. Welcome back, Scar. So it would be rude to Scar and Pearlescent Moon and Hypno if I just left random blocks all over the place. Especially at the scale we're working here. This is a pretty big build, right? I've already got like 3 shoulders worth of sand reclaimed. If we just had that lying around while I was breaking this, that would be very inconsiderate. Yep, we're working on our water farm. It's coming along well. Yeah. Plus, it'll look better on the replay mod if I make sure that I'm going back through and clearing out those pillars as I go. So every so often I want to go back through and clear those out. Okay. It's so much easier if I can actually get somewhere that I can break these without being wet. Dang it. Is there a bat here? That's weird. Is there a jerky update? I bought new jerky, and I'm hoping that it will help me find the old jerky when I set down the new bag on top of the old one, but I have not succeeded in that endeavor. I actually bought 2 new bags of jerky, just in case, because I was like, I'm not going to go back to the store if I lose this one too. I mean, it's jerky, it'll stay good forever. But I'm keeping one of them in reserve. I also wanted to check if where I put the one in reserve, like, was accidentally where I put the one that got lost, right? It's like... Dang it, why is that one not breaking? I haven't lost the new jerky yet, no. This is a really efficient sand farm. We're doing great. Okay, I'm getting rid of this block. Yeah, when I move out, I'm gonna find like 100 bags of jerky. Dang it, I should have watered that in, or filled that out, so. Why is my head so small? The camera gets bigger when people tip. If you'd like to make the camera bigger, we are $7 away from the next face camera expansion, and tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. But don't worry, that money will go straight to my head. No, I haven't tried that kind of jerky, Stephanie Hall. I just get whatever they sell at Costco, because you can get a lot of it relatively cheap, and it isn't terrible. Those are my standards. Can I get a lot of it cheap, and are the ingredients so low quality that they make me sick? If they make me sick, then I go up a step. But as long as it doesn't... What's going on here? So this is kind of a rise. On the rise. And needs old with half a brain. See that humankind has gone insane. To the point where I don't know if I'll accept the status quo. I pour poison in the water main. Listen close to everybody's heart. And hear that breaking sound. Hopes and dreams come shattering apart, crashing to the ground. Cannot believe this. In a world full of filth and lies, it's plain to see the darkness inside of me is on the rise. Yeah, Dr. Horrible is so good. Yeah, I actually bought it, like, as it was debuting. It came out over the course of a week. Every other day they were putting out a new third, like a new act. Okay. So, let's see. I'm not sure how far over I went this way. For the practice test area, we don't really need to go the whole distance. If we go, we're probably going to start with machines that are only like 3 or, well, maybe not 3, but like 11 or so blocks wide, maybe 8 or something. So... we just need to clear out enough space that we can have the test machine not hit any walls, right? Okay. So... here's what we're going to do now. We're going to mark that in roleplay mode. We're going to fly over here and we're going to get our maps. Hey! Yeah, like I said, flying is just a little bit too stuttery for my taste with this mod. So we're going to have to play with when we have it turned on and when we don't. It is not an always mod. But, so yeah, let's go ahead and grab these. Face camera off, start recording. Well, folks, this is definitely showing up. Okay. All right, I have cleared out about half of this, which is enough to get going. You can see on the map here which areas are flooded. It doesn't really show up much at the 3-to-1 scale, but on the 1-to-1 scale here, it's pretty obvious that we've done quite the number on this thing here. We need to clear out the inner wall on that side too, but that's not as urgent. I do need to retract this middle piece here. This midpoint marker is going to be hitting the sweep of the test sweepers. So why don't we go ahead, lay our heads down and dream, and get working again. Time skip. Okay, I'm not sure that I love that take, but we might end up cutting that bit entirely. Okay. Actually, wait, that one's not done. Stop recording. Yeah, I'm not going to record another take. I think I just probably will choose not to use that one. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so we can drop that down here. Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry, we got a tip rolling in. Let's real quickly acknowledge that. Thank you so much to Leslie for the 10, who says, Joe, I can hardly see you. Please grow. Well, that is going to put us $2 past our next expansion milestone. So here we go. It's time to grow hills. Alrighty. Yay, it's me. That money just goes straight to my head. Alrighty. Hey, Manty Gang. Glad you could join us. I'm loving this distance mod for the views, but for those of you who are just joining us, we're experimenting with a mod here that messes up flying, but when you're walking around, you can see so much further. Like if we fly over here to the shopping district area. Like I said, there's a little bit of judder in the flying. But yeah, this lets me have a 32 chunk view distance, which is just absolutely visually stunning. But so the way it's a client-side mod that caches chunks. I flew all around when I was testing the mod earlier today. I flew all around over there. So like you see where like the squid is? That's actually outside of my server connection distance. Oh, it's so jerky though. But okay, so like the squid and that thing over there, that's outside of the view distance on the server. And this is a, what do you call those? NVMe, like super fast solid state hard drive. That's just a lot to process. Can I program it to turn off all flying? Maybe. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I flew around all those chunks over there earlier today to preload them. Now, the funny thing is, like, XB Crafted could have actually completely blown up that squid over there, and until I fly past it, I won't get a new copy of those chunks from the server, right? Because the server is only sending me the simulation distance of chunks, right? No, so it's not just slow disk retrieval. Brainfish says, is it Bobby? I heard it has issues with Starlight. Well, I don't have Starlight installed, but yeah, Bobby is the name of what we're using here. So there are just certain things where it seems like it's a little bit jerkier. But I mean, this is visually, like if I'm just standing here doing a like, we are back here, blah, blah, blah. Like that is the different. Let me show you all the difference video settings, we drop this down to 16 chunks. This is where it was at. Right? 16 chunks. 32 chunks. So I might have to start swapping back and forth between having this mod installed and disabling it. Like, depending on what I'm recording. Because if I'm recording something where I know I have to do a lot of flying, just turning down the render distance with the mod installed doesn't help enough. You have to actually disable the mod to really fix it. Right? So this is kind of an experimental stream in that, like, I'm trying to figure out what trade-offs are acceptable here and how happy I am with it or not. This might be something that I only use for special shots of the pinball machine. George says that explains the stuttering docs videos. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm not a Java programmer, so yeah, but like I said, it's the mod being active at all, even when you turn down your render distance, really adds a lot of stutter to flying. Just walking around isn't too bad. Like, well, actually it is pretty bad. I'm getting 20 frames a second over here. Oh, jeez. But this area here, one of the reasons everybody started their mega bases is because there's just so many entities and stuff. Okay. Out by my area. Okay, but like, for example, let's go up to the top of Corellis's thing here. So, like I said, I flew around all of this earlier today when I was after I installed the mod to test it. Okay, we gotta position ourselves so we don't. Whoa. Yeah, so now we can see all the way to falses. We can see, like, it's taken a while for the chunks that I'd cached previously to pop in. But, like, the mountains and stuff just look so much cooler, right? So if I'm just recording something where I'm like, well, y'all, we had a good run in the cave donut, but it turns out that dollars to donuts or diamonds to donuts, blah, 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 right? Like, this is for certain types of shots. This is the sort of thing that's worth restarting the client to get the recording for, right? Yeah. Diamonds to donuts. I gotta use that. That's actually not terrible. But yeah, so I can see gigalogs and the donut there. Once again, if I go back and just to contrast it, turn it down to 16 chunks again. Let me show you where my view distance was at when we were up here last time and I was recording. You can see the can of beans. Yeah. So this is definitely a tool worth using. It's just probably not a tool worth keeping enabled 100% of the time. I think part of the lag is that every time it receives a new chunk from the server, it's also backing it up to its own cache, maybe. I think it's also doing more lighting calculations. What's that F3 pie chart? F3Q. How do I turn on the pie chart? F3H, F3L. Wait, pi. So, yeah, if we start flying, let's switch to first-person mode again. And then try to start flying and see if anything crazy happens on the pie chart. Scheduled executables starts really... And then what's that purple one there? FPS pie? No, that's the tick. Is that what that is? Tick? Does anybody know how to read what that means, that thing? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That's not my base. But yeah, the faster we're going, the more juddery it gets. But update display is eating a huge amount right now. Device memory. Maybe... should I allocate more memory, maybe? I don't know how much that would help. But yeah, just look at this from up here. It's just so much more gorgeous. Does that say Bobby update? Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. One of them is Bobby update. So that's definitely a non-trivial amount of resources. That's up there with unspecified and blit. Okay, we need to go and lay our heads down and dream on one of those beds over there and also wipe out that thing. So over here, though, our frame rate's closer to 60. Just... I mean, we're taking a pretty big performance hit, though. 8 gigs is usually plenty. Yeah, but, like, that's a lot of extra chunks. Yep, this is a giant pinball machine. Thank you for noticing. Okay, so we need to clear out this thing here so we can get our prototypes started. Distant Horizons mod can do 512 chunks. Does that work with, does Distant Horizons mod work with Fabric and, multiplayer? Because, like, this is the one that Doc is using, and I'm assuming he's using it for compatibility reasons if this other one is better in general. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Whoops. Elytra did not deploy there. Let's move the bed over too, actually. And just to be thorough, we're going to make this flush with the rest. Dang it. Not quite. And 3 more blocks to remove. Ow! Widdershins, I don't really do a lot with desktop backgrounds. Usually my desktop has so many icons on it that, like, you can't see it anyway, so I just set it to black, or I leave it whatever the system default is. Like, I don't know if you've seen my house in Animal Crossing, or my town in Animal Crossing, but my computer desktop is kind of the equivalent of that. Okay, so I think what we want to do is let's set up some obsidian on the corners of these, just in case. Oh, dang it, I'm not streaming tomorrow night. Bum, bum. Have fun. Okay, so for our rough prototypes here, Gamer Girly says it's a fabric mod. Multiplayer works, but you have to visit the chunks to cache them first. Not sure if it saves the cache to disk. Well, that's kind of what we're doing here, or that is exactly what we're doing here. I think he means in-game. No, I'm pretty sure he means, like... Wait, do you mean Friday, tomorrow, or the next Minecraft in-game day. I'm so easily confused. Okay. Friday. I've been streaming since 2008. A few years before I started on YouTube. So, next steps. We actually want to start. There's a reason we have more room on that side. I kind of think while we're recording this next bit, I'm gonna want to while we're recording the next bit, I think I'm going to want to do that with the Bobby mod off for frame rate issues. So let's go ahead and let the replay mod save. Let's go in here real quick also. So with the Bobby mod on in replay mod, you can get some really way better shots, right? So wow, but the frame rate flying around in replay mod is worse too. See, we are learning a lot here. Okay. So I think for the optimal angle on this, you'd want something like this, where you can see down the line. Okay. I'm going to set that to 30 seconds. We're going to have a still cam. That is at 1730. So we're going to set that. So I'm going to set this export to run real quick while I take a quick hydration break. Dang it, there's a bug on the camera. I don't want to freak you guys out if it goes past. Oh, boy. That's not ideal. Okay. Well, hopefully it won't go directly in front of the lens, because I didn't see exactly where it went. And I feel like I'm going to be boned. Anyway, my goal was to take a hydration break while this renders. So let's do that real quick. So we're going to set that to HC9-014, water A1, RP fixed, okay, save, render, turn on the hydration break sign. Woo. So while that renders, we'll go ahead and put on a song I wrote, and let's see who we need to thank for that hydration break from the Patreon list here. $20 or more gets you thanked for a hydration break. Let's go ahead and thank Joy, who requested, "When will my stream begin?" And that's kind of a shorter one. That's $2.29. That's time for me to get my drink. I will be right back.
PM, the usual streaming setup. Turn on the lights, make sure they're bright and gleam. Title and tweet, pour water, tank top and chroma. OBS seems all set, so I click start the stream, and so I'll pause folding and open VLC. I'll pick 2 songs before lay our head down and dream. I'll say that's us to y'all. Joe Hills from Tennessee. Folks asking when will my stream begin? items and chest tools breaking. Pickaxe and poof while talking to you professional Minecrafter here, there's no mistaking. Then I'll click crafting quick, anvil time, enchant pick, then I'll replace the books in random chests with care. I'll tour my winery, I know there's blocks somewhere, and then I'll hush and hush and hush and hush chat swears, not any closer to recording. Folks keep asking and asking and asking and asking, when will my stream begin? Seriously, y'all, I need to record this next episode. I've been working toward. I can't edit without footage, no. Once I'm all geared up, maybe we can start the show.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm just checking out how that replay mod file turned out real quick. Looks like it's pretty decent to me. Yeah, there we are. Boom. Okay. Rubber Toaster says, where can I find your music for later? A lot of it is on DistroKid. Here's an album link. But not, some of the songs I play are unreleased. They're on the new album that hasn't come out yet. We're still working on that. So let's take the replay mod file down here. Gonna exit replay mod. Yeah, the preview feature you usually don't want to have turned on because it makes it run way slower. But in that case, I mean, I was killing time anyway while I went and refilled my drink. Doing well, Max. So we got to let replay mod save that. We're going to close and reopen Minecraft without the Bobby mod installed for performance reasons before we start messing with our prototypes. Also, Steam wants to re-update for some reason. Sure, Steam, you can re-update, whatever. If you get the mod menu, you can disable Bobby in-game. I don't know if that's worth it. Let me find this mod menu Bobby. Oh, now we're just looking at a black screen. That's not ideal. Dang it, Bobby. Okay, well, in terms of the amount of time we have right now, I think it's faster for me to just disable the mod than for me to find a new mod. But if I could do that, maybe I should do it right. Mod menu. Let me find mod menu. It adds a screen for viewing a list of installed mods. Requires Fabric Loader and Fabric API. Download on Modrinth. Okay, why do we have to download it somewhere besides CourseForge? Okay, 118.2. That's the one we want. Download. Okay, we're going to show in folder. Going to add it to our menu. Okay, now we're going to launch Minecraft. Just so y'all know, every time I launch Minecraft, the whole computer kind of freezes up for a few seconds, so we might get some weird delay on this. Okay. So, yep, so you can see how the camera is all while it's are we actually dropping frames? No, we're just not parsing stuff. Yeah, it completely maxes out my CPU when it's launching Minecraft for like 5 or 6 real-time seconds. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, so now there's a menu called mods. Okay. So how do I actually Okay, I don't think that this lets me disable or enable anything. There's not 58 mods, there's 8 mods. Okay, so simple voice chat has a menu. Base game configure. Mod menu configure. So replay mod configure. Get in game first. Okay. Oh! You know what? While we're here, why don't we test this so we're not rejoin spamming? Whoops. Okay, so here's a sneak peek of tomorrow's Everstorm. Yergi came up with some world gen parameters that I think y'all should enjoy. Okay, so now that we're here, if I click mods, no. I mean, it'll open the website. I need to press the hotkey. What's the hotkey? It looks like I'm hitting the mods menu. Oh, I might need to also install cloth config? What is cloth config? Okay. So, I think we need to... I think we need to download this cloth config thing and load that up too. Okay. So we're going to disconnect real quick. This is why I didn't want to log into HermitCraft, because people don't want to get spammed with me trying to get my mods sorted, right? So we're going to go to loader mods. We're going to download cloth config. Waiting on the CurseForge site. Okay. Now we're going to relaunch Minecraft, which is going to kill my frame rate on the camera. No, this is the sort of things I need to learn to do. This was going to be, like I said, this is an experimental stream. I probably should have labeled it an experimental stream. Encoding is overloaded because Minecraft is launching. Wow. Yep, Minecraft, always overloading everything. But yeah, I am well. Thank you, Matthew Lavis. We are doing an experimental stream with some new mods. One of them was recommended by Doc M to render things at a longer distance. Okay. So, is cloth config actually installed? Dang it, why not? Cloth config forge. Oh, great. Why would the... stupid CurseForge defaulting to the Forge version. That's stupid. So we need to delete that. How do I... hold on. Delete. Okay, so we're going to close... so... Bobby mod Minecraft. We're going to click from there the link to cloth config. Then we're going to go to recent files, fabric for, oh boy, files list. Yeah, we don't want the forge one. We want fabric 118X. Yeah. For fabric. Oh boy. Okay. So, we're downloading the proper cloth config this time, which we have copied in here. We're going to quit Minecraft again. We're going to relaunch Minecraft, which is going to overload everything. So the camera is about to get super jumpy. Woo! Is it jumpy yet? No, not yet. Okay, there it is. There it is. Woo! Okay. That's why we don't launch Minecraft during the stream usually. Hey, we just got a tip rolling in. From Matthew Lavis. Thank you so much, Matthew Lavis, for tipping 60. Okay. That's an elaborate story. That's very amusing. But, yeah. You preface it by saying I don't have to read it, so we're going to go ahead and just keep the show on the road. But, yeah, that is pretty funny. Okay. So, 18, 38, 58, and 2. That's going to get you 3 face camera expansions, and the last one will be the entrance of the Beetlejuice. So let's go ahead and try... let's verify real quick that... Hey, good. Okay, so this is working. So if this is working, then we can reconnect to Minecraft or HermitCraft and process these while we do. So here we go. Expand. Numero dos. Bigger Joes incoming. Numero trace. Y'all have seen my face expand. That money just has gone straight to my head with each milestone we hit. But now, like Jacob Marley, these chains I forged in life are about to begin pulling me down to the deep below. And not the Beetlejuice, just the Jost. Did I say Beetlejuice? Oh, this is what I get for trying to do mods and camera stuff and everything at once. It's fine. We're doing it live. Enter the Jost. Bum, 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 bum. Lowering the opacity now to 90%. At this point, each additional face camera expansion will be accompanied by a corresponding drop in opacity. So, alrighty, we're going to move that over there. We're going to move this up here. All my windows are in all the wrong places. I've got windows in weird places. Troubleshooting mods. Okay, so we can disable... What's disable block entities? Do not load block entities, e.g. chunks and fake chests. They need updating every tick, which is going to add up. That makes sense. What is this? Taint fake chunks. Reduces the light levels in fake chunks so you can see the difference from real ones. Delays unloading of chunks outside your view distance. Saves you from having to reload. Does not work across dimensions. Clean up unused chunks. We don't want to do that. Max render distance, 32. Ooh, wait. Changes maximum render distance. Changes maximum render distance. Hold on. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can fix... If we disable this... Wait, save and quit. If we disable that, then now all of a sudden we can't see very far. Right? But we should be able to fly without as much judder. I'm still getting some judder on the flight. I don't think the mod is truly disabled. Okay. I don't think the mod is truly disabled is the thing. I think that we're actually going to have to manually unload the mod in the mod loader menu in order to have... There's still some... Maybe it's just because I'm not used to flying with rockets. Maybe there's always judder with rockets, but I've been using the trident and gliding a lot, so it hasn't mattered. But okay. if we can increase the render distance, we're going to go back up to the top of Corrales' thing here. And we're going to change some settings. Okay. Jill Jackson says, no, Joe, don't do it. You don't know what you're unleashing. Eclog says it looks like client lag. I don't think that's just the rockets. Yeah, I'm not sure. But okay. Ah! Okay, so I got hit by an arrow and kind of bounced out a little bit there. But... Okay. So this is... We're going to go back into mods. We're going to re-enable Bobby mod. But we're going to up this to 128. Save and quit. Done. Then we're going to go in here to video settings. Render distance. 128. Apply. Done. So I don't know that I cached 128 blocks to the north. Or chunks to the north. But I definitely did 128 out in some directions. Oh, no. No, it's still... It's the same as when we had it at 32. The tooltip said maybe it needed a restart. Did it? Requires sodium. So this is only on single player. This is the multiplayer one. Maximum configurable value. So yeah, 32 doesn't get us anything. Change the render distance in sodium as well. That's what I just did. This is sodium. Oh, wait. Did it not apply? I thought I just did this, but maybe it didn't save the change. How are we on RAM usage? Let's keep an eye on that for a second. No. I don't think it actually took. Yep, see, it dropped back down here to 32. Let's try 64, maybe. Grace Winter says, I think you need to restart. There's an open issue on GitHub saying you do. Okay, so there's a bug that means we need to restart. Got it. Issue number 76. Max render distance does not fully apply until you restart. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to close that. Then we are going to restart Minecraft. So get ready for the judder again on the camera. I should have put in the title of the stream that this is a tech stream. It's fine. It's fine. We're learning a lot. It's gonna be fine. Man, my hair looks so bad with the black background. It's fine. It's fine. Alex says, did you see my $5 above? Maybe not. Hey, thank you, Alex, for the 5. He says, oops, I'm optimistic, though. Thank you so much. That puts us 13 away from the next face camera expansion. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay, so maybe we should have set it to 128 before doing this, but maybe it's better that we are kind of halfway. Okay, so this is set to 128 there, but our video settings, it's back down here at 32 again. Is there a sodium options thing somewhere that's... Try setting it now. Okay. We'll apply it. Or you're saying it wouldn't work until the first time. Oh, I think I understand what you're saying. Okay. Any update on the jerky? I bought new jerky. It hasn't helped me find the old jerky yet, but... Okay. This is promising, but this is... We still haven't gotten out as far as 32. Give it a second. It's loading in the chunks that the server is sending before it's loading the chunks from the hard drive. Okay, that one's definitely further away. Some of these chunks are way further out. We just need to chill out for a minute. While we let the server catch, or while we let the client catch up with loading chunks from the cache, we got a new tip rolling in from Ashley for 13. Thank you so much, Ashley. That's going to put us evenly at our next face camera expansion milestone. So here we go. It's time to expand Jost. And we're going to lower the opacity now to 80%. It seems like we got a little bit of time while this loads. Like, as we turn, it's definitely loading further out. I don't know if it's going the full 128, though. It's a lot of chunks. Are we running out of RAM? Is one of my concerns. No, we're okay on RAM. Not sure how it prioritizes what to load. It's kind of loading from in out. But either way, yeah, so we're now at 80% opacity. Thank you again very much to Ashley for supporting the arts and my show in particular. So let's move this window back where it needs to be. I was going to actually get the wig while we wait. It's still loading. Wow. This is pretty incredible. It is not efficient from a time standpoint. My computer has 32 gigs of RAM. Okay. I am not in a position to sleep, but these lighting updates are going to kill my computer. Not that my computer is doing great otherwise. Let me check like my processor. Let's see, performance. We got high CPU usage, passable GPU usage. I think this is mostly just Minecraft loading stuff in and doing lighting calculations on it all. There's Mumbo's thing is starting to load in. Okay. I don't have Starlight installed, but some people said that Starlight, doesn't work well with this particular mod that we're experimenting with right now. Yeah. I can see the corner of the pinball machine is loading in over there. Wait, no. Doot. No, there. Yep, there's the corner of the pinball machine loading in. You see it? Is that you see the lines loading in from the pinball machine chunks? Oh, I think the back glass is loading now. Okay. This is taking a... Now, the thing is, if every time I wanted to do a render and replay mod, I needed to wait for all these chunks to load in, like, this has been like 6 minutes subjective time, right? Or no, objective time. I can never remember. Okay. Things seem a lot closer together when presented this way. Well, they're actually a lot closer together than you'd think. Well, the thing is, George, it doesn't actually load in the entities on the far chunks. What is my actual frame rate right now, also? 7. So, this is probably good for doing replay mod renders. But not good for doing stuff live, right? So this way, when I do crazy replay mod time lapses, I can have stuff loaded in the far distance. It would actually be really cool to do time lapses of things like the pinball machine from all the way over here, right? As I'm like putting in the coin door or something. But yeah. How many chunks are being loaded now? We set it to 128, I think. Yeah, replay mod compatibility is kind of a must-have. Yeah, the far edge of the perimeter is loading in. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well. Oh, boy. Okay. So this is really something here. Stuff is still loading in past my pinball machine, too. This is a long wait. Somebody says, just don't spin around. I know, right? Okay. How's the RAM doing? Good question. Not too bad. So I think that this is just probably... How's my disk? So according to this, we're nowhere near our disk transfer max. So it's not the disk read and write that's killing us. It's the actual CPU. It's Minecraft processing the chunks as they load in. Okay. This is room 219B says this is about 1.25 miles of rendering. Hey, welcome, Quantum Mechanic. Yeah, now keep in mind that the chunks that are outside of my immediate area are all cached, because I did a flyover of a ton of the server earlier today, right after installing the mod to cache everything. Oh, wow. Stuff is still loading out past the pinball megabase. So I actually think that to the south, we're hitting the world border. Like, the stuff can't load further south from here because I couldn't cache it because I couldn't fly across the, Yeah, I think I could actually see further than I had actually cached with some of this. Because how far did I go out that way? I didn't go as far as Pearl and Gems. So I think that on the left side, we're also seeing 8 frames a second, though. So yeah, this is the sort of thing with replay mod. I can set replay mod to export at 60 frames a second. And what's 60 divided by 8? 15 divided by 7. So it would be 7 seconds in replay mod for every second of footage of extra overhead. But okay, we're gonna turn my head here. I know y'all said don't turn your head, but I gotta know. Will it keep loading? I mean, There's some chunks that aren't loading in. I don't know if maybe I didn't cache those ones between the World Eater and Grian's Rock. I don't think I flew over those. So I think we're finding that there's gaps in my travel here. So, yep, you can see somebody's working on a structure. Oh wait, I'm pointing at my screen. You can't see when I point at my screen. But yeah, there's a structure over there that's popping in. Hey, Steel Samurai, I'm experimenting with a mod that lets you load chunks far away. Let's see if we can go fill in that gap over there. Ooh. This reminds me of computer class. Playing with Microsoft PowerPoint. Here's a slideshow about a video game I like. It's called Minecraft. Okay. So yeah, these chunks that we didn't have loaded in before are now starting to pop in. So these were not part of the cache, I guess. And there's some weird lighting glitches on some chunks too. But like oh, I can see the world border. Like, I mean, the thing is, if I recorded myself flying around like this, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a pass from the top of the pinball machine. How many rockets do we have left? Not many. Okay. So, for replay mod purposes, mark. We're going to record ourselves flying to world spawn here. Christopher King. Well, here's the thing is, we can re-export this footage in replay mod, and it'll render properly, just way slower. Then we're going to come back around here and mark. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to log out somewhere safe. This is so weird being able to see what I'm flying toward. Hey Woodles, we are experimenting with a new mod that lets me set the render distance to 128 chunks away and loads cached versions of those chunks. So in some ways, y'all are talking about spoilers. Well, keep in mind too, as long as I don't update the chunks that are in the distance, they won't show the spoilers. That rock is a spoiler? Well, it's in the middle of the shopping district. You can't avoid it. Hey, Mini Cheese Mouse, did you see my my tweet earlier with the details about the local Nashville meetup? Let me grab that real quick while Replay Mod dumps this. Twitter.com/JoeHills. So I talked to the guy who created the Game Point Cafe, Rick Kuehler. He's actually been on the stream before. He's the organizer of Tennessee Game Days who was on my pinball stream. And he runs the Game Point Cafe. And I asked, hey, could we use Game Point Cafe for our Minecraft meetup on Sunday at 2 p.m.? And he just got back to me this afternoon. So now we have a solid yes on that. So, hold on. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit pause. We're going to jump to this marker here. But Mini Cheese Mouse says, I literally just got to my friend's house and my body thinks it's 4 a.m. Well, congratulations on making it across the pond. They don't have Whataburger in Nashville. But we have a lot of good burger places that are like local. So it's one of those things where it's like 90% of the burgers I get are from like one particular like local family owned place. And it's like, why would I stop going there in favor of a Whataburger? Right. Okay. So we're going to hit me. We're going to add spectator keyframe. We're going to hit, how long does this run? 13, 15 or so. Let's just run it in real time. Do I know what the world border is set to on the server? Yeah, it's right back there. Woodle says 128 chunks seems a bit bizarre, don't you think? Well, that's why it's an experiment. But yeah, I mean, even if they got a Whataburger in Nashville, I wouldn't eat there. I would keep eating at my favorite burger places that are owned by the same families who have been running them for 20 years. Like, I'd rather support a local business with, you know, people from around town than send money to somebody in Texas or California. Okay, so then... So we've got this sweep around here. We're going to come back this way, and then we hit marker. Add time keyframe. Okay. Render. We're going to call that HC9014 test. Actually, RP-test 128 chunk A1. Save and render. So this we're gonna see what the estimate is on this, or does it just crash? Yeah, it's a locally owned coffee shop that we're gonna have our meetup at. Okay, is it gonna just crash? I don't go to big chains like that, Christopher King. Like, that's not of interest to me. Like, the only time I really eat at, like, chain restaurants is if I'm, like, in an airport and they have the shortest lines, or if I'm driving down the interstate and there's nothing available otherwise. RP is a production code I use for replay mod files. Come on, replay mod, I believe in you. Yeah, that's the thing. So I think it might take 7 minutes or something to load in the thing. Lakester says, do you have a separate streaming PC, or if it crashes, do you disappear? If it crashes... Well, if the computer shuts down, then yeah. But in theory, this shouldn't crash OBS. Fred 2 says, do you ever go out to eat at 3 a.m.? No. Because I have a child, and I'm a single parent. And so that's the other thing. Yeah, I guess if you're like, oh yeah, I need to go get food at 3 a.m., then yeah, I guess you're going to go to like a chain or whatever that's open super late or whatever. But like, my kid goes to bed at 8, so I kind of can't leave the house between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. Right? So if we can get... Here's what I think, is the first frame would take the longest. 27 minutes. Hold on, seriously? Hold on. Let's see where... Okay. It needs to render the first frame to make an estimate. Yeah. So if we hit show performance or show preview, it's gonna slow way down. But yeah, if I'm hungry at 3 a.m., I'll make myself food with the food that I already have in my apartment. Michaela Rott says, I know there's a pretty good pizza place not far from the Parthenon there in Nashville. Probably Michelangelo's is the best one close to the Parthenon. If you go, but that's if you're walking from the Parthenon. I mean, if you're in the area in general, Pizza Perfect is, in my opinion, one of the best. Two Boots is also over there in Midtown. That's pretty good. NY Pie, if you're willing to go further out, is more authentic New York, but okay. So this is actually going way faster than I expected. 500 frames in 3 minutes. Ace Cook says good places always be like named after a Ninja Turtle. Yep. You know it's a good pizza place if it's named after a Ninja Turtle. I have not found the beef jerky yet. Mini Cheese Mouse says I screenshotted the tweet. Now I fall over and sleep. Alrighty, have a good night, Mini Cheese Mouse. Thank you for visiting Nashville from the other side of the pond. Thomas says I was told we're getting a Nashville fried chicken in Boise, Idaho. Is that a chain or a gimmick? I mean, so the best, like, local fried chicken places are the ones like Prince's that have been around for decades. Most of the chains are owned by white people who took the idea of hot chicken and said, hey, I can get a loan from a bank and open 8 restaurants. And so I don't know. It's a little the spread of hot chicken, which was like a kind of core restaurant business in the African American community, having that go national, but it's all a bunch of like random white guys whose dads are bankers who own it, kind of feels bad to me. So Willow says, how much does a slice cost in Nashville? I usually only buy like a whole pizza. Like, if I'm going to a pizza place, I'm usually picking up a whole pizza and I'm bringing it back. But that doesn't happen very often, and I don't know. I don't know how much the prices have changed, too, since COVID. Like, everything's weird right now with prices, so... But yeah, I don't do a lot of just, like, random eating out. Yeah. Well, this is a pretty powerful computer. So, yeah, we're 1/3 of the way through the render. I'm willing to... Let's... Okay. So, the render time is jumping around like crazy. 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Let's try turning on show preview. Just to see what it's actually rendering. Oh, boy. It looks like it's only rendering... It doesn't look like it's rendering the full... thing. Oh, that's kind of disappointing. It looks like it's only rendering whatever chunks I actually had loaded at the time, so stuff that was off to the side isn't getting dropped in. So that means I need to make sure that before I record something for replay mod, I actually load all the chunks. Willow Vestman says, what about the chunks you don't, or what do you do with the pie you don't eat? Like, if I'm buying a pizza, it's because I'm, serving it to my kid and stuff. Okay, are we seeing some sort of dropped frames here? Okay, we're gonna turn that preview off. We're getting red bars. OBS is freaking out at me. Okay. OBS is still all red. We're dropping a lot of frames. Why are we dropping so many frames? Okay, it looks like... So, apparently turning the preview on messed with OBS. Yeah, also, have people never heard of leftover pizza? Yeah, you could just put it in the fridge. Jill Jackson says they say you miss 100% of the chunks you don't load. Oh, okay. Okay. So we're going to finish this render just because I really want to see how it looks. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, the thing is, yeah, OBS is on the GPU and the render is on the CPU, but apparently something going on there When I hit that preview button, all of a sudden OBS started dropping frames. So something was saturated or bottlenecked somewhere. So, okay, now that I know I have to let the chunks entirely drop in, though, or load in, so it keeps track of which chunks the client was rendering, I guess. I'm trying to think through on the under the hood part there, how this would work. And this is actually a real case where having a spectator camera account on a second machine all of a sudden gets super viable again. So I set up the Joe Hill C's camera account running Bobby with 128 chunks. And then in the main account, I just record and stream like usual. Yo-Yo or something like that says, once it's done, could you show us the view from the Octodrop Tower? I literally just doing that, but... Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean, though. Yeah, we can do a quick render of when I was standing around. Rocksteading says, isn't render distance on HermitCraft capped at the server? Yeah, so... what this mod does is it lets me fly over chunks and cache them on my local machine, and then it renders them when they're beyond render distance. It renders the stale cache. So, like, let's say that False's can was too far away for me to realize somebody had moved it again. Until I actually flew over it, those chunks wouldn't update on my local cache. So, yeah, this is definitely a... spectator account, separate machine thing. But we're learning a lot right now. This has been a really productive tech stream. So, okay. We're going to let this finish rendering, and then I'll load this up. 10 minutes of render time. Not too bad, but once again, it wasn't exactly perfect. So we're going to load up that file. And make it visible. A little bit of the stutter in the motion of the flight is carrying through here. I think there's something where the client isn't actually tracking my flight data properly because it's so overwhelmed. Like it feels like it's rubber banding a little bit. Are you seeing that too? Oh, my laptop could absolutely handle being that second computer, Democrates. It's a very good laptop. So this is looking pretty good on the whole. But yeah. So, but for fixed perspective stuff. Let's try that next. We're going to hit close. Before we clear the keyframes, we're going to save that keyframes as flyabout. A1. Save. Clear keyframes, yes. I feel like it took about 7 minutes for us to load in all the chunks. So if we need to wait to the point where all the chunks are loaded in, that would be about here. We're going to move out of the player's point of view here. And so let's just set a replay mod camera to fly. Okay. Whoops, did not want that. So replay mod camera is going to start here. We're going to have it fly all the way over Let's do a 15-second clip, because that'll be a lot faster to export to. Gamer Girly says the rubber banding could also be unstable server TPS. I think you're right. Okay. So, okay, can I zoom up my speed? I'm not normally flying the camera this far in replay mod, so this is kind of a wild, different thing. Okay. This might also be a dumb idea, but maybe... here's what we're going to do. We are going to make this... we're going to make this a 45-second render. And what we're going to do is we're going to have the first 30 seconds, or no, the first 15 seconds just be that. Staying in the same place. Default interpreter, we're going to set that to linear. Save. Okay. So now we're going to render 128 chunk B1. Save, render. Can replay mod do dolly zoom? That's literally what we're just doing. That we are just setting up. Well, oh, no. Oh, dolly zoom is where you change the field of vision. No, you can't change the field of vision while you sweep. Okay. So, getting that first frame, it seems to take about a minute or so. Okay. Waiting for the first frame to render. Waiting for the first frame to render. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. Incredimike says editing stream. Howdy y'all. So this is actually kind of a tech stream editing. Incredimike. We're experimenting with a mod that lets me load 128 chunk render distance from cache. I have to fly around in multiplayer and it'll back up each chunk as I fly over it. And then it'll render those cached chunks in the distance. So the server will never give me more than 16 frames away worth of updates. But like, if Corrales' squid is 128 frames away, or not Corrales, yeah, Corrales built it. If Corrales' squid was 128 chunks away, I could have that in the background, like from my pinball machine, right? But if somebody was blowing it up while I was standing on my pinball machine, it wouldn't show up because those chunks, I hadn't updated the cache because I hadn't flown over them. And so it's funny because people are like, oh, this is going to cause a bunch of spoilers, but actually it'll keep the spoilers out of the chunks out of the cache chunks unless I load them. Okay, frame 1 just rendered. That's 90% of the battle. If this thing is going to crash, it almost always crashes on frame 1. So can we get to frame 2? If we can get to frame 2, we're like in the clear. Have I studied computer science? I mean, I took a computer science course in college, but my degree is in history. Okay. Okay, so now we've got 60 chunks, or 60 frames render. Oh my gosh, my units of measure, I'm getting all confused. Okay, I'm feeling really good about this. So this is going to theoretically let me do some time lapses where instead of having to always angle the camera straight down during the time lapse, we can actually show cool stuff in the background. Does it do that blurring thing where it simplifies distance in objects? No. Frame 1 Purgatory Escape. Indeed. Salty Patron says, and there it goes. Okay. Now, last time we turned on the preview, it says performance might suffer, but it started competing with OBS for resources. This is an incredibly resource-intense thing, and last time we turned on the show preview, it did almost crash OBS. So we are going to not do that this time. Alrighty. Morning, Death. Glad you could join us. What is a frame but a chunk of a video? Says Ancient Chaos. Chloe says, I would have thought you would be an English major. Nope. Because, it's one of those things where, like, I always thought it would be interesting to be a writer, but I didn't think that my life was interesting enough to have anything to write about. So, it seemed premature to pursue writing as a career at that point. Hey, welcome, Jared Francis. Glad you could join us. So, Salty Patron says, I thought there was a mod that cached the chunk data locally for rendering. What's the purpose of rendering this way? Is this replay mod rendering? Yeah, we're doing replay mod rendering of footage I recorded earlier to see how replay mod and the chunk loading mod intersect, right? So, we need to make sure that there's basically mods can have weird conflicts with each other, and we're kind of trying to test this before I use it for anything important, right? Oh, there's a Puckett's Grocery in downtown that I've been to. It's called Puckett's Grocery instead of Puckett's Boathouse, but it's still just a Puckett's restaurant that also just sells groceries because downtown doesn't have a lot of grocery stores. Welcome, Jonathan Simpson. Glad you could join us. Salty Patron says, I see, integration testing. Actually, yeah. We had to install 3 mods in order to make this work. We had to install the Bobby mod, which actually does the chunk caching. And then we had to install 2 other mods in order to configure Bobby and let it integrate properly with Sodium, which are called Menu Mod and Client Config, I think. Yeah. Cloth Config. So, yeah, we're testing how all of these things work together and what kind of performance hit we get from them. Alrighty, have fun being responsible, Sammy. Bobby is a fabric mod, yeah. George Harris says, knowing the limits of the tech you want to use is important so you know what you can do. Exactly. If I'm going to be framing shots and setting up things for my videos a certain way, it needs Sodium to do the 128 chunk render distance. It doesn't need Sodium to jump. So you can get to 32 chunks render distance without Sodium with the caching. But my goal here is if I max this out, how ludicrous is it and does it actually work, right? Realistically, I'm probably going to end up keeping it set to something like 64 or 32 when I use it. But I want to see right now we're testing the extreme case. And I'm going to, as soon as this video is done rendering, I'm going to pop it up in OBS so y'all can see it. William Edmondson says there's a Whataburger in Hermitage. Ah, good to know. I did not know that. That is probably pretty new. Any restaurant that opened since the pandemic, I don't know. I checked on the RAM for the JVM. It's at 8 gigs right now. And when we were looking at the RAM meter, it was only at like, 3 gigs or 4 gigs. So it's not. Yeah, on Old Hickory. Yep, you're right. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull up that replay mod file here. What did I call it? Chunk test B1. Okay, whoops. So here it is. So we're seeing if the chunks take time to load in. You know what? Okay, so those chunks over there I hadn't looked at yet, because I was only loading in these over here. So then there's the camera kicking in. So it has to be, yeah, it's definitely keyed to what the client has loaded, not to what Bobby has in the cache, right? So because I was thinking if we just let it render the same frame for a little while. Okay. So here's the thing, is if we had just let this chill for a while. How long until I actually looked over there and then loaded those chunks? Have I revealed what game it's going to be for the pinball machine? I'm going to pick a theme sometime in the next month. It's not an urgent priority. Like, I need to get the rough mechanics and sort out a bunch of other stuff first. So when's the point where I turn my head that way and load those chunks? Well, okay, so replay mod. I had definitely turned my head by then. I'm going to come up with the game and the theme and build the layout. Yeah, it looks smoother than the first test because the camera wasn't keyed to my rocket flying. But yeah, okay. So replay mod might be about to crash. I'm going to... So the cabinet is based on Total Nuclear Annihilation's cabinet, which Scott Denisi designed and sold to Spooky Pinball. But the internal playfield and all that is going to be stuff I come up with. We actually had Scott Denisi as a guest on the stream a few weeks ago. Or last Friday, I guess. So I think replay mod might be crashing. The thing about replay mod is sometimes it does just take a while. Okay, yep, it's doing a force reload of... Okay. The resource pack on the server. Yep, so it seems like it'll only load in the chunks on the render that the player is actually looking at the time. So it's not gonna override what Bobby serves the player, is the short version. And I'm also realizing, oh, interesting, it's doing that at its own speed, not at the speed that those chunks came in. Incredible Mike says, make a pinball machine about being trapped in a junkyard and needing to assemble contraptions to escape and shoot a dog with toast. Yeah, that'd be very original. I'm sure there'd be no lawsuits. I wouldn't have to lull her up on that one. Lawrence Short says, you always had the most interesting guests. I liked your guest who spoke about Hanukkah. Yeah, that was Aviva Kitty. I don't know if Aviva's here tonight. Aviva's a longtime friend of the show. Yeah. Welcome, Diggs. Glad you could join us. So this seems workable, as Fake Zircon points out. We've just got to kind of figure out what the constraints are. No, Pat Lawler is the guy who designed the game Junkyard. So that's literally a Pat Lawler joke. But, okay. So, interesting. So the chunks that load in are kind of a combination of what the player had loaded originally and what we make time to preload now. I think it might stop loading additional chunks once we hit the renderer, which is not normally a problem, but I think maybe it gives up and just starts rendering frames at a certain point. Although I think that just at this time in the thing here, this is so weird being able to fly around at this view distance too. Also, just kind of saying, like, replay mod normally never. I could never see this far in replay mod. This is absolutely wild. Okay. I feel like we're learning a lot here. Let's jump to this point in the camera thing, because that should queue all of the frames up for loading. if it doesn't crash replay mod. We are only jumping forward in replay mod is way better than jumping back. Okay. So we're going to press play here. I don't think I've turned my head yet. Oh no, I forgot when you pause. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're learning a lot about replay mod's constraints in this situation. Replay mod is definitely struggling. Okay. We're coming up on 11 o'clock here. And I have an early morning tomorrow. So as much as I want to kind of keep messing with this, I think the solution to this is, like I said, I install this mod on my laptop with my camera account for time lapses. We don't keep it installed all the time on my primary account because of the lag it introduces for the rockets and the Trident flying. Any flying, it breaks. It's a huge frame rate hit. It was dropping me down to like 8 frames a second, 13 frames a second, even with the low render distance. Interesting. It keeps jumping me back in time. Yeah, okay, we're going to exit this replay and hopefully have it not crash and get corrupted. In the meantime, let's see who we can raid. I want to keep messing with this, but I got to get to bed. I got an early morning. I got stuff to do tomorrow. Quick reminder, my next stream is Sunday night. I have some family obligations tomorrow night and Saturday night, so I can't make it to stream. But let's see. Tommy Boy is going to be hosting a game night on the Discord tomorrow for Gardic Phone during my normal stream time. There's nothing really planned for Saturday night at stream time, but let's see what is going on out here in the broader world of Twitch. Oh, it's Thursday. Let's see. What game is that? I don't even know. Let's make sure we've got this muted. Do 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 do. Oh, it's Stranger Things. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and raid Hot Nudge? They are playing Stranger Things. So we're going to go ahead and send folks their way. I actually played Demio with Anna from Hot Nudge the other day. I don't know if you've played Demio if you're into VR. It's very interesting. I was trying to explain it to somebody earlier. I'm like, I'm not sure how much fun I had, but I was really interested in it the whole time. So, like, in terms of games, it wasn't just like, wow, that was the most fun I've ever had. But I was like, huh, that was really neat. Huh. So, anyway. But yeah, Anna and I played Demio for the first time on Monday. Is Anna actually there? Yeah, I think Anna's there. She might not be in frame on the camera. Yeah, she is. But anyway, when you get over there, our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hill's raid here. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out and putting up with all of these mods and restarting and everything. This was a really great tech stream, and I had a good time. So, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do-do-do.